Tonight on the program, an interview with Her Majesty Queen Silvia of Sweden on the World Childhood Foundation and her mission to protect children. Then the ambassador of Brazil to Thailand's initiative to help flood victims in his home country. And the Pride edition of Empowering Thai Women featuring transgender MP Parami Waitongtarean. Swadika, I'm Nad Bunag and welcome to This Week with Thai PBS World. Her Majesty Queen Silvia of Sweden is in Bangkok this week to attend the Child Protection Summit 2024. Central to her cause is the World Childhood Foundation, which she founded over 25 years ago. She also talks to Thai PBS World about their aim to help prevent violence and sexual abuse of children.
Child abuse is a severe problem that occurs all around the world. Her Majesty Queen Silvia of Sweden attended Child Protection Summit Bangkok 2024. The Swedish Queen gave an opening speech, stressed an importance to tackle child abuse. During her opening remarks, Queen Silvia stressed that she wanted to turn words into actions to protect children on the streets, children with disabilities and children on construction sites through World Childhood Foundation, founded by Her Majesty Queen Silvia 25 years ago. She also pointed out that child abuse is difficult to speak about, but silence does not help raise awareness, and it only helps the perpetrator. It happens everywhere in every culture and society. On the sideline of the summit, Her Majesty Queen Silvia of Sweden also gave an exclusive interview to Thai media. She said that Thailand is a big, wonderful country with many children. Her Majesty also answered a question from Thai PBS World regarding collaborations between Sweden and Thailand to uplift well-being of children in the country.
Please. So let's chat a bit more from Thai PBS World. In which way Thailand and Sweden can collaborate together to uplift children's well-being? Will there be an exchange in some ways in the future?
Well, everybody's trying to do that. I mean, we have to. We have to. And we have to discuss it with all the entities there is. Also the schools, the surrounding, the neighbors, the friends, other parents. We all have to give hands, to reach hands. And of course, internet has its own line, which is very, very difficult to understand that. For instance, you take TikTok. I can't discuss TikTok with you because I even don't know where to push the button. But I can see the fascinating of the children, but I know how dangerous of this. I don't know what you think about it, but I think the press has a lot to tell.
Her Majesty also mentioned technology disruptions and the concerns of platform being used by perpetrators and what can we do to prevent that.
You know, it's not easy nowadays to be a child, but I'm afraid it's not easy to be a parent either. I'm not an expert on internet. I try to learn it, but I know that the children around me, they're much cleverer. So it's not easy to be a parent and to handle that. So then I asked an expert. I said, what can we do as a parent with a certain age? And then she looked at me and said, you know, you should be next to the computer. Bring it to the kitchen, to the dining room, wherever you are. Put it next to, so then you can see what the child is doing and communicating. You can see who is trying to reach the child as well. So this is one step you will hear clear. Internet, as we mentioned today, is beautiful, it's fantastic, but it's very, very, very dangerous. So my hope is, of course, that the big companies who have the responsibility, that they find a way to to control it.
Statistics shows that in the past 8 years in Thailand, there is a significant increase in cases of child trafficking and sexual exploitation through online system. Statistics of perpetrators seeking sexual benefits from children online show that there were as many as 1,400 offenders. During the summit, the Interior, Justice and Social Development and Human Security Ministries signed a memorandum of understanding at the event to advance child protection and suppression of child abuse in the form of mental abuse, physical abuse or sexual abuse. This MOU aims to set a new standards and foster zero tolerance of child exploitation to ensure that Thai kids are well protected. Queen Silvia of Sweden said that this is the moment of hope and we have to stand strong to eliminate child abuse from the society. Natasha Gitmok reports from United Nations, Bangkok.
Apart from child abuse, climate change is also an issue that needs to be addressed because it is impacting people's lives everywhere. Recently, Brazil saw record-breaking rainfall, leaving many homes and even a major airport inundated. The ambassador of Brazil to Thailand is trying to help flood victims in his country through a fundraising initiative. Frank Hanshi has more details.
Many homes and a major airport in southern Brazil are underwater. Record-breaking rainfall since April 27th has caused the level of the Guaíba River in the state of Rio Grande do Sul to rise to a record high 5.3 meters. While the Brazilian government has been implementing water management plans to strengthen infrastructure for more than a decade, days of torrential rain have made water courses overflow and even a hydroelectric dam to collapse. The ambassador of Brazil to Thailand, His Excellency José Borges dos Santos Jr., told Thai PBS World that the state cannot accommodate such a huge amount of water and is forecast to continue raining in coming days.
The rivers from that region flow into a lagoon called Lagoa dos Patos, and from there it drains into the sea. The whole water drains into the sea. But this lagoon has a very narrow outflow, a very narrow outlet. So there's only a limited amount of water that gets out at a time. And you also have to count on the wind.
An expert points out that the flooding could take a few weeks to subside. What makes the dire situation worse is the cold weather. As the temperature plummets below 10 degrees Celsius, the ambassador said climate change is having an impact in every corner in the globe, and the government should build new infrastructure immediately. He also advocates a fundraising initiative by the Brazil-Thai Chamber of Commerce for those affected by the inundation.
We can do from our side, actually, it's the Brazil Chamber of Commerce initiative to do fundraising.
And they are doing a great job, and I don't have the numbers, but they work very closely with us. And I know that a lot of our friends and have made very great amounts of donations from people who trade with Brazil, from the other chambers of commerce in Thailand.
Yeah.
And they all been very generous, and I'm very thankful for that.
The ambassador said the support from Thailand can help provide Brazilians with relief from the extreme weather quickly. The connection between the two countries is reflected in stronger trade. Brazil exports a lot of soybeans and leather, and the country imports auto parts from Thailand. The ambassador, however, noticed the Thai government's sluggish cooperation with Brazil.
But the thing is, for example, we've been asking a technical visit of inspection from the Department of Livestock Development of the Ministry of Agriculture.
Yep.
We've asked for a technical visit to our plants, to inspect our plants for the last 3 years, and we still haven't had a response. So things go very slowly, and there must be a reason, perhaps.
The ambassador aims to reinforce communication and cooperation with Thailand's government through the good quality and prices of Brazilian products. In his 45-year diplomatic career, Thailand is his first assignment in Asia. The ambassador told me that the food and rapid growth of Bangkok are very impressive.
When it comes to food, my choices always lean towards the simplest things. I like, for example, pineapple fried rice with shrimp.
Right.
Tom kha gai. I like pomelo salad. And also enjoy very much eating mango sticky rice.
Frank Kanshi reporting for Thai PBS World.
And now in this Pride edition of Empowering Thai Women, we talk to Move Forward Party MP Parami Waitongtaran as she discusses why Thai politics remain male-dominated and discusses whether the Thai education system is always to blame for the lack of awareness of gender diversity in Thailand. Parami Waitongtaran, who identifies as a transgender MP, discusses how parliamentarians of the LGBTQ community are being treated in the male-dominated Thai parliament. Only 19% of Thai MPs are female, and there are only 4 MPs who openly identify as being from the LGBTQ community. Due to the gender imbalance in parliament, such MPs still face prejudice, discrimination, and even verbal harassment.
เพราะว่าในสภาเนี่ยส.ส.ที่ยังมีความเป็นชายแท้แบบที่เขาพูดกันนะชายที่นึกว่าตัวเองเป็นใหญ่และมีแนวคิดแบบดั้งเดิมอนุรักษ์นิยมมากๆเนี่ยยังก็ค่อนข้างมีเยอะไม่ใช่แค่ลำพัง LGBT ที่โดนใช่ไหมครับไม่ให้เกียรติหรือคุกคามผู้หญิงส.ส.ผู้หญิงหลายคนก็เคยคุยกับดิฉันว่าเขาก็โดนเหมือนกันไม่ว่า LGBTQ+ คนนั้นเขาจะค่อนข้างเรียบร้อยดูคล้ายผู้หญิงจริงๆนะฮะมากๆอัตลักษณ์เขาจะตัวสูงใหญ่สักหน่อยยังมีนะความคล้ายผู้ชายก็ไม่ควรไปคุกคามเขาดิฉันยืนยันว่าไม่ได้จะคุกคามทางสายตาวาจาต่างๆไม่ได้นะคะ
Parami's experience has not, however, been as severe as others. For this, she is grateful to her senior MPs, namely Thanwarin Sukhapisit and Thanyawat Gamonwongwat, for being the first LGBTQ MPs in Parliament who have paved the way for people like her to take part in Thai politics. Despite that, one issue that still bothers her, though, is the use of honorifics, an issue many transgender individuals still encounter. For this reason, Parami hopes the law affirming gender identities will be passed. According to Parami, the Move Forward Party will re-propose the bill this July, which she thinks is a glimmer of hope.
ในตอนที่ดิฉันเข้าสภาใหม่ๆเวลาประชุมเขาใส่ชื่อดิฉันว่านายบุคคลที่เป็นคนข้ามเพศไม่ว่าจะชายข้ามเพศหรือหญิงข้ามเพศดิฉันว่านะเวลามีคำหน้านามที่ไม่ตรงกับอัตลักษณ์ที่เขาเลือกใช้ในปัจจุบันแล้วดิฉันว่าเขาเจ็บปวดนะเขาเจ็บปวดอย่างดิฉันเนี่ยเห็นป้ายคำว่านายดิฉันก็ไม่ชอบเลยเจ็บปวดหรือดิฉันไปอะไรสมมติไปหาหมอตามโรงพยาบาลบางโรงพยาบาลก็ยังเรียกดิฉันว่านายปารมีอย่างเงี้ยซึ่งคนที่เป็นคนข้ามเพศจะไม่ชอบหรอกเวลาได้ยินคำพวกนี้สิ่งที่อยากให้เกิดขึ้นก็คือพระราชบัญญัติรับรองอัตลักษณ์ทางเพศคำนำหน้านามซึ่งจะทำให้เกิดการเปลี่ยนคำนำหน้านามได้
As to why gender equality is yet to be achieved in Thailand, Parami agrees that the social structure and cultural norms still do not allow women or the LGBTQ community to take part in certain careers. Another aspect is the unequal access to quality education, which also means that some schools still pass on conservative views about gender and do not recognize diversity or inclusivity. Therefore, Parami believes in improving the quality of education across the country to be of a common standard. At the same time, families play a huge role in teaching their children about modern social values, including gender diversity.
มันประเด็นเรื่องความเหลื่อมล้ำทางการศึกษามันเป็นเรื่องเดียวกับความเหลื่อมล้ำทางเศรษฐกิจคนยากจนก็มักจะได้การศึกษาที่ไม่ค่อยดีได้เรียนโรงเรียนที่มาตรฐานน้อยพอมีเรียนในโรงเรียนที่มาตรฐานน้อยมาตรฐานในทางวิชาการที่จะถ่ายทอดให้นักเรียนทักษะและสมรรถนะก็จะน้อยไปด้วยนะฮะ mindset ครูก็ด้วย มันเลยส่งต่อ mindset แบบไม่ถูกต้องที่ไม่ใช่ mindset สังคมสมัยใหม่ไม่ใช่ mindset ที่เคารพในความเท่าเทียมและไม่ใช่ mindset ที่จะต้องขจัดความชายแท้ออกไปส่งต่อให้สู่รุ่นต่อๆไปวันการศึกษาจริงสำคัญมากดิฉันขอพูดถึง LGBT ทุกกลุ่มเลยต้องมั่นใจในความเป็นมนุษย์ของตัวเราอันนี้เป็นสิ่งที่สำคัญมากนะคะคุณต้องมั่นใจก่อนว่าคุณคือมนุษย์ที่เสมอภาคกับทุกคนถ้าคุณมีสิ่งนี้แล้วเนาะคุณก็ไม่ต้องกลัวเวลาที่มีคนมาคุกคามคุณด้วยสายตาและวาจาหรือมาเลือกปฏิบัติหรือมาเหยียดหยามเพราะว่าถ้าคุณมั่นใจแล้วคุณไปเจอสถานการณ์ที่มีการเลือกปฏิบัติขอให้คุณสู้นะให้มั่นใจและตระหนักในสิทธิเสรีภาพของตัวเองว่าเราเสมอภาคกับทุกคนใครจะมาดูถูกเลือกปฏิบัติต่างๆกับเราไม่ได้
We still have more interviews like these to celebrate the LGBTQ community, so do stay tuned. And now let's have a look at the other stories in our weekly roundup. A political activist known as Bung Thaluwang has died of cardiac arrest while on remand after months on hunger strike for her incarceration on lèse majesté charges. The Corrections Department claims that it took good care of the late activist in line with the principles of human rights and the department's standards. On the day after Bung's death, Tawan, her fellow Thaluwang group member, who is also on hunger strike, was sent to hospital this week due to stress. Thai police will coordinate with Interpol to issue red notices against 2 South Korean fugitives currently being held in custody in South Korea and Cambodia on suspicion of involvement in the murder of a South Korean in Thailand's Chonburi province. The Deputy Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police said the Bangkok South Criminal Court had already issued arrest warrants for the 3 suspects, one of whom is still on the run. 2 Thai hostages held captive by Hamas are believed to have died during the days immediately following the Hamas attacks on Israel last October. The Foreign Ministry spokesman repeated the Thai government's appeal to Hamas to release all remaining hostages, including 6 Thais, and called for a resolution to the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. It's Durian season in Thailand, but here's some not so good news for Thailand. Thailand's position as one of the world's top durian exporters is under threat this year as growers and exporters are facing drought and higher transport costs. To maintain its position in the market, an international economic expert suggests that Thailand needs to implement more strategic measures. Let's find out more in this report by Warisara Sahan.
ตลาดนอกก็ดีมากครับก็ดีมากความต้องการก็สูงอยู่ไม่พอปริมาณการส่งออกของปีนี้ของผลผลิตเมืองจันทร์ก็จะลดน้อยลงเหลือประมาณ 70% ไม่เกินอากาศแรงมากก็เกิดจากการน้ำน้อยไม่พอใช้เพราะว่าทุเรียนเราเนี่ยตอนนี้มันมีคู่แข่งแล้วยังไงจุดที่สำคัญที่สุดของเราก็คือเรื่องคุณภาพครับต้องเน้นเรื่องนี้เป็นพิเศษ
According to the Bank of Thailand statistics, Thailand has been the world's #1 exporter of durian for at least the past 5 years. However, that could change. As Thailand is experiencing challenges like droughts and high transportation costs, recent reports suggest that Thailand may be overtaken by Vietnam.
Durian production in Vietnam has increased rapidly in the past decade. According to reports, Thailand could lose its place as the main durian exporter to China in the next 5 years. Associate Professor at Pisan Wanit, an economic analyst and international trade expert, highlights that water shortages are one of the main problems.
ทุเรียนเป็นดัชนีชี้วัดอันหนึ่งว่าขณะนี้เนี่ยประเทศไทยขาดแคลนน้ำมากมันขาดแคลนน้ำก็ส่งผลต่อตัวพืชเกษตรอื่นๆอีกเยอะเลย
He predicts that Thai durian output will be considerably smaller than last year's.
แต่ปัจจุบันหลังโควิดเนี่ยนะครับในปี 2024 ผมว่าปัจจัยหลักๆเลยและน่าจะไปเรื่อยๆปัจจัยเรื่องของภัยแล้งไม่มีน้ำในการ ให้ทุเรียนหรือไม่มีน้ำในการทำเกษตรอื่นๆนะปีนี้ 2024 ผมประเมินว่าหายไปประมาณ 30-40% ผลผลิตนะครับผลผลิตทุเรียนไทย2 ล้านตันถ้าหายไป 40% ก็เหลือล้านกว่าๆ
Almost every ASEAN country has also encountered droughts, but durian production in Vietnam is less affected. That is partly because of their growing methods.
ระบบการปลูกทุเรียนในประเทศไทยเนี่ยจะใช้สปริงเกิลพ่นน้ำถูกไหมครับดูดมาจากแล้วแต่จากลำธารบ้างลำคลองบ้างนะบ่อเบอร์อะไรว่ากันไปแต่ของเวียดนามเนี่ยจะปลูกเป็นในร่องสวนทุเรียนเหมือนกับที่ถ้าหลายคนอาจจะจินตนาการไม่ออกก็คือว่าบ้านเราเนี่ยเวลาจะปลูกในร่องสวนเนี่ยก็จะเป็นร่องสวนมะพร้าวแถวดำเนินสะดวกที่ราชบุรีใช่ไหมฮะมีน้ำตรงร่องสวนของเขาไม่ได้ปลูกมะพร้าวแบบนั้นแต่แทนที่จะปลูกมะพร้าวในเวียดนามกลายเป็นไปปลูกทุเรียนในร่องสวนซึ่งจะมีน้ำตลอด
I'd said that for the first quarter of 2024, Vietnam exported 105% more durians to the Chinese market. Additionally, the country's geography is a plus for both cultivation and transportation.
แล้วก็พื้นที่ 70% ของผลผลิตทุเรียนเนี่ยอยู่ในพื้นที่ที่เรียกว่าแม่โขง River Delta ก็คือจังหวัดในสามเหลี่ยมปากแม่น้ำโขงก็คืออยู่ทางตอนใต้ของประเทศเวียดนามก็คือน้ำจะดีมากไม่ว่าจะเป็นข้าวผลไม้นะครับผักพืชต่างๆเนี่ยจะอยู่ในพื้นที่สามเหลี่ยมปากแม่น้ำโขงถ้าเราพูดถึงศักยภาพในการแข่งขันหนึ่งในนั้นก็คือต้นทุนการผลิตที่เราแพงกว่าเขานะครับซึ่งก็หลายไม่เฉพาะทุเรียนหลักแล้วก็เรื่องของการที่มีชายแดนติดกับประเทศจีนเพราะนั้นการขนส่งก็จะค่าใช้จ่ายในการขนส่งจะน้อยกว่าไทย
Vietnam seems to have more competitive advantages in terms of location and cheaper production costs. But the flavor of durians from Thailand is the winning factor.
รสชาติทุเรียนของเวียดนามจะรสชาติอ่อนกว่าไทยประมาณ 20-30% รสชาติอร่อยน้อยกว่าทุเรียนไทย 20% แต่ราคาทุเรียนเวียดนามเนี่ยถูกกว่าทุเรียนไทย 30-40 บาทต่อกิโล
I suggested that the Thai government should address these factors as a priority.
เรื่องของน้ำเป็นเรื่องสำคัญเพราะนั้น 4-5 ปัจจัยที่เราพูดถึงวันนี้นะครับถ้าเราไปสามารถไปร่างเป็นยุทธศาสตร์หรือเป็นรถแมพหรือแผนที่นำทางในการปลูกทุเรียนของประเทศไทยใน 5 ปีข้างหน้าและสิ่งสำคัญที่สุดก็คือว่ารัฐบาลที่มีหน้าที่รับผิดชอบโดยตรงก็ต้องหาทางแก้ไขเพราะนั้นผมคิดว่าเรื่องน้ำควรจะตั้งเป็นวาระของประเทศไทยและเป็นวาระที่เร่งด่วนด้วยนะ
About 95% of Thai durians are exported to the Chinese market. For over a decade, Thailand had been the only country that had a special trade agreement which allows exports of fresh durian to China. Vietnam secured a similar deal in 2022. As of 2023, Thailand holds about 65% of the Chinese market. Vietnam has about 35% and the Philippines 0.26%. Warisala Sehan reporting for Thai PBS World.
Now to Cambodia. Our reporter at Bunyatat recently visited Phnom Penh to cover some captivating stories about the city, its people, and its future. This is the first episode in this series focusing on a young social entrepreneur who is determined to make his childhood aspirations reality by improving the quality of life for Cambodians.
Today, Phnom Penh is developing rapidly. Plenty of brand-name retailers, well-known coffee chain stores, and cool places to visit can be found, including a classic shop house in the center of town. It houses a one-of-a-kind community space called Patecha, which means old house. What makes this place extraordinary are its atmosphere, energy, and the founders' aspirations.
So I have the dream to make the city greener and more livable. So by being livable, I want the community and city have a lot of community space where people can explore about art. They can explore about nature. They can have space to hang out, to socialize with friends and family. So that's my main job that I'm doing right now.
Since his junior high school, Supiak always knew what he wanted to do with his life, which drove him to pursue higher education in agronomy, obtain another degree in teaching, and earn a master's degree in development studies. He then started his own small online business, selling plants in early 2019. His entrepreneurial spirit has enabled him to combine his passion for agriculture with his desire to have a positive impact in his community.
For me, it's not just a business, but it's a very purposeful project for me to inspire many other people, especially those who live in the city, to reconnect with nature.
Later, Supiak decided to open a physical store because he wanted to connect with customers and provide them with a garden center experience. By that time, he had discovered this charming building with Khmer architecture and a vertical garden at the back, and he just fell in love with it. That was in 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic.
And because of COVID, new business emerged. New business emerged from the plant store and the short-term rental to be a community centers. And back then, why community centers? Because I learned that many small other business, they are struggling during the COVID time. So I called out many other small business. If we are now struggling to pay a lot on our operation costs, why don't we come together as a small business owners?
A year later, the building was fully occupied, and now it's home to 8 different businesses under one roof. There is a florist studio, handmade clothing and souvenir shops, a cafe, a design studio, a rooftop bar, and art space.
Inside the building is full of impact-driven businesses. So it's very exciting place for many people, even like young Cambodians. They like to come explore new coffee or new community space in the old building from 1960s, or maybe for tourists, they come. They find interesting coffee shop to stop by during their time in Phnom Penh.
Finally, he shared his thoughts on his country's future and how he has prepared to be a well-rounded ASEAN citizen.
I think Cambodia have a lot of potential, even though we don't have a large population. But the potential here, I would say, Cambodia share a large portion of young population, and this young population is so competent. They learn so fast how to adapt in the ASEAN economic diversification. I know this because I have met so many young talented Cambodians, and they start to be different. They give attention to skill and subjects that are new to Cambodian society.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of This Week with Thai PBS World. Join us every Friday at 10:30 p.m. only on Thai PBS. And don't forget to follow us on social media, including our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ